On September 1, 1939, the skies over Poland filled with planes and tanks smashed through its borders. That was the day the world changed forever. The day Adolf Hitler unleashed a war that would cost millions of lives and reshape the course of history. In this video, we'll uncover the details of the invasion of Poland, the brutal and innovative strategy of Blitzkrieg warfare, and how this attack forced the world to face the growing threat of the Third Reich. To understand how World War II began, we need to go back to Europe's situation at the time. After World War I, Germany was defeated and humiliated by the Treaty of Versailles in 1919. This treaty imposed harsh economic sanctions and military restrictions on Germany. Financially, the German nation was crushed under reparations that seemed impossible to repay. The military was drastically reduced, and they lost key territories, like the Saar Basin and Danzig. But instead of bringing lasting peace, this treaty planted seeds of resentment and poverty among the German people, who felt that the pride of their nation had been deliberately destroyed by the Allied powers. Amidst this chaos, a leader emerged promising to restore Germany's glory: Adolf Hitler. Hitler rose to power in 1933, and over time, he consolidated an authoritarian regime. He eliminated all political opposition and established a propaganda machine projecting an idealized image of a reborn Germany, strong and united under the Third Reich banner. His goal wasn't just to regain what had been lost, but to build an even greater empire that would dominate Europe. The concept of Lebensraum, or living space, became central to his ideology. According to Hitler, Germany needed to expand eastward to secure the survival of its people. To achieve his goals, Hitler needed to expand territorially, and Poland was a major obstacle in his path. However, invading Poland meant risking a military response from France and the United Kingdom, who had promised to protect the Poles if Germany attacked. These countries, still scarred by the devastation of 1914-1918, tried to negotiate with Hitler to appease his territorial demands and avoid another war at all costs. But Hitler wasn't interested in long-term negotiations. He knew that the key to success was neutralizing any threat on the Eastern Front. To his surprise, he found an unexpected opportunity, the chance to ally with his former enemy, the Soviet Union. In a move that shocked the world, the foreign ministers of Germany and the Soviet Union, Joachim von Ribbentrop and Vyacheslav Molotov, signed the non-aggression pact known as the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact. This pact included a secret protocol where the two powers agreed to divide Poland between them. Germany would control the west and central part of the country, while the Soviet Union would take the eastern regions. With this alliance, Hitler was assured he wouldn't face a war on two fronts, at least for the time being. Now, he was ready to strike. On September 1, 1939, at 4:45 in the morning, Nazi Germany launched its attack on Poland using a revolutionary and brutal strategy, Blitzkrieg or lightning war. This tactic was an innovation in warfare, a fast, devastating approach designed to destabilize and crush the enemy within days. The Blitzkrieg combined rapid, coordinated attacks from different branches of the German military. First, bombers from the Luftwaffe, the infamous Stuka dive bombers, dropped down on their targets, releasing bombs with a precision that stunned defenders. The Stukas struck roads, bridges, railways, and communication centers, paralyzing escape routes and isolating Polish positions. German pilots had precise orders, not only to attack military infrastructures but to create as much chaos as possible, breaking the morale of the enemy. Then, after these devastating air attacks, the Panzer divisions, Germany's feared tanks, moved in, destroying any resistance they encountered. With the tanks paving the way, the motorized infantry would secure conquered positions and eliminate any Polish forces that were still holding out. This combination of aerial and ground attacks in coordinated waves shattered defenses in hours. Poland was unprepared for a war of this magnitude. Its army, though courageous and filled with determination, was largely composed of cavalry and World War I-era weaponry. Moreover, Poland lacked the technology and resources necessary to counter the power of the German war machine. Despite this, the Polish army resisted bravely. Cavalry units, for example, didn't charge directly at German tanks, as Nazi propaganda often claimed. Instead, They engaged in guerrilla warfare, attempting to cut off German supply lines and attack infantry. In some cases, Polish soldiers entrenched themselves in small towns, defending their positions to the last. Westerplatte, for instance, became a symbol of Polish resistance. There, a small garrison of Polish soldiers held out against the Nazis for 7 days, enduring constant bombings and artillery attacks. Despite their courage, the lack of resources and international support proved decisive in Poland's downfall. As the days passed, Polish defense lines broke under the weight of the German Blitzkrieg. While Poland was struggling to defend itself from the Nazi invasion, another unexpected blow was struck. On September 17, 1939, the Soviet Union launched its own attack, invading Poland from the east. This was the execution of the secret agreement in the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact, which divided the country and ensured that Germany and the Soviet Union would not face each other, at least not yet. For the Poles, it was a devastating betrayal. Their country, a free nation just days before, was now being destroyed and divided by two of the world's most powerful military forces. The Polish resistance was trapped between two fronts, and their defense efforts became increasingly desperate. In the east, the Red Army met little resistance, advancing swiftly and consolidating Soviet control over the region. The Polish resistance was valiant, but against the combined power of Germany and the Soviet Union, it stood no chance. By late September, Warsaw, the capital, was under siege and bombed without mercy. Bombs rained down on civilian buildings, and the city became a symbol of the brutality of modern warfare. With Warsaw in ruins and the Polish army defeated on nearly all fronts, the Polish government had no choice but to flee and organize a government in exile. Poland was quickly divided and occupied. The west and center fell under Nazi control, while the east was absorbed by the Soviet Union. The lightning assault left the world in shock. The brutal efficiency of the Blitzkrieg and the collaboration between two totalitarian regimes showed that Europe faced an unprecedented threat, one that could crush countries within weeks. The invasion of Poland was the final step that forced France and the United Kingdom to act. On September 3, 1939, both countries declared war on Germany, fulfilling their promise to protect Poland. However, this initial declaration was more symbolic than effective, and their military response was minimal. During the early months of the war, a period known as the Phony War held Europe in tense calm, as the Allies launched no major offensive against Germany. This period allowed Hitler to consolidate his conquests and prepare for what would be his next expansion. The invasion of Poland wasn't just the beginning of World War II. It showed the world the devastating power of Blitzkrieg and the danger of failing to confront a dictator like Hitler in time. This conflict, which lasted just a month, set the stage for 6 years of war, death, and destruction. Millions of lives would be lost, and the world would never be the same again. The invasion of Poland was the first chapter in a war that would change history forever. A war not just over territory, but over the survival of human values in the face of an ideology of hate and oppression.